Well, while doing the research to review this novel, I realized Harry Harrison had done a lot more in science fiction than I ever realized. My research indicates that he wrote around 122 short stories, around 60 novels, and edited around 38 anthologies. And that was just a quick count on the internet sites. So he did a lot of work in science fiction, and I do have some other Harry Harrison here, and I'll just kind of go through them very quickly. This one is Bill the Galactic Hero, and I bought it at a Walden bookstore probably around 1978. And we'll check the book here for it. Copyright 1965. First Equinox printing 1975. First Avon printing November 1979. So I'm pretty certain I bought this book around 1979. Got the old style price tag on it. So next is The Men from Pig and Robot. And again, I have not read this for a long time. And it is a Puffin book, which I think means it was published in England. And I have to take my glasses off to read this. First published in Great Britain by Faber and Faber in 1974. Published in Puffin Books 1978, reprinted 1982. And we have 3 novelettes here, basically. And I can't say I remember much about this one. But I wouldn't have kept it if I didn't like it. So now we have Harry Harrison, A Stainless Steel Rat is Born. And again, I'll have to look to be certain. This is a book club edition. Harry Harrison, Bantam Books. Bantam Spectra book, October 1985. I don't see any other date on here, so I am thinking that this book was published in 1985, and it looks like I have kept it in pretty good shape. Oh, we have another Stainless Steel Rat. Harry Harrison, of course. And this one, Stainless Steel Rat Gets Drafted. Copyright 1987. Bantam Books, printed in the U.S. He has dedication here. And I think I've kept this one in even better shape. So I have 2 Stainless Steel Rat novels. Now, he did edit anthologies and some collections. Nebula Award Stories number 2. He edited this one with Brian W. Aldiss. This has some really great stories in it, and I'm sure this is the one that I bought back in the day. Let's see. Copyright 1967 by Science Fiction Writers of America. Printed in USA. This is the first printing, Doubleday edition, published September 1967. Pocketbook edition, September 1968. When Here's The Secret Place by Richard McKenna. Light of Other Days by Bob Shaw. Among the Hairy Earthmen by R.A. Lafferty. The Last Castle by Jack Vance. Day Million by Frederick Paul. and When I Was Miss Dow by Sonia Dorman. I remember all of these. Call Him Lord by Gordon Dixon. An incredibly great story there. We Can Remember It For You Wholesale, Philip K. Dick. All of them are very good, and I have reread this many times, and it is still in pretty good shape. I have a Harry Harrison anthology of original science fiction stories, Nova 1, and I remember when these were coming out. Copyright 1970 by Harry Harrison. Copyright 1962, which would be one of the stories here. So, manufactured in the United States of America. Now, I cannot say that I recall many of these stories except The Winner by Donald E. Westlake. But this book is in great shape, and I enjoyed it immensely. Now we're getting down to my favorite Harry Harrison collection, which I bought back in the day when I was wrestling in high school and running around all over the place, and this book went everywhere with me, and it got pretty chewed up. Let's see. Well, at any rate, I'm going to try to find the copyright date. Copyright 1962, second printing September 1968, which would have been just before my freshman year wrestling season. Now, I can remember every one of these stories, and I thought they were all great. Now, The Repairman is quite funny, and War with the Robots is not funny. But years later, Isaac Asimov came out with his own anthology. Now, this version of that anthology is entitled War with the Robots, and Isaac Asimov, Patricia Warwick, and Martin H. Greenberg, and they worked out a deal with Harry Harrison to use the title of his story. This was originally published, let's see, it's a Wing book, was previously published under the title Machines That Think. Now, I will do a complete review of this book at some point, but there is not a bad story in it. Where is Harrison's War with Robots? There it is, page 339. I will do a complete review of this book at some point. Now, when I took science fiction in college, we had two books, and this is one of them. We had two anthologies to read. Harry Harrison and Carol Puner, I guess, are the editors. I had never heard of Carol before or since. So in here, let's see if I can find the date. I think it was 1973. Copyright 1973 by Harry Harrison. And again, just fantastic science fiction in this story, in this anthology. And it's Light of Other Days, page 87. And I need to do a review of Light of the Other Days at some point. Where are we looking here? At any rate, at the end of each story, here's the end of Light of Other Days. They give you some questions and some things to consider, and they give you some notes defining words. And this was a great learning experience for me in college, and Harry Harrison did a incredibly great job on this anthology, a science fiction reader. And that's exactly what it is. And Harry Harrison did some other very important work. When John W. Campbell Jr. passed away, the Memorial Anthology was edited by Harry Harrison with an introduction by Isaac Asimov. So all of these guys got together and worked on something for John W. Campbell. Let's see if I can find the date in here. Harry Harrison, Random House, New York. Copyright 1973 by Random House, Inc. And this is a who's who of science fiction wrote these stories. Isaac Asimov, Powell Anderson. Isaac wrote the introduction, of course, and it is really kind of required reading to understand science fiction up to 1973. Asimov, Alfred Bester, wrote a story, How Clement Theodore R. Cogswell Elsbreg de Camp. Gordon Dixon, The Mothballed Spaceship by Harry Harrison, which I recall. Mack Reynolds. Now, Mack Reynolds was a very prolific writer, and I actually enjoyed a lot of his stuff. Here we have Clifford D. Simak, George O. Smith, Theodore Sturgeon, and another one by Theodore Cogswell. Just an incredible who's who of science fiction at the time, and I was really glad to get my hands on a hardbound copy of this. I had the paperback for many years, and it's just about falling apart. So that's what I've got on Harry Harrison, a very important figure in science fiction. And from what I was reading, probably through the mid-1990s, he was still going strong. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.